Hello, beautiful souls. So, I'm going to be doing another shadow work prompt and oracle card reading. So, today I'm going to talk about forgiveness. And I'm going to start off with a quote from Lewes B Smedes. I believe the last name is pronounced Smedes. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that that prisoner was you. Now just think about how deep and profound that is. Forgiveness is setting a prisoner free and discovering that that prisoner is yourself. And this doesn't exactly mean that you are at fault for anything. It just means that sometimes things happen in our lives, and when these things happen for us in our lives, we hold on to it. We trap that energy within us. And when we trap it within us, it does not go anywhere. It becomes stagnant. It becomes stuck. It is there. And when we forgive, we don't necessarily do it for the other person. We do it for ourselves because we are setting ourselves free. We are no longer allowing this energy that is trapped within us to control us anymore, and we are releasing that energy back out into the world. This is a process called alchemy. We are transmuting that energy that is stuck within us, and we are allowing it to be released. We are turning it into love for ourselves, because when we choose to forgive, we are choosing to love ourselves instead of holding on to that more negative or dense emotion. We're choosing to not hold on to the negative emotion anymore, and we're choosing to accept love into our life. And this love is not romantic love, it's not family love, it's not platonic love. It is love for self. It is appreciation for self. It is saying that I love myself more than I love the memory of the trauma that has controlled my life for so long. So, one thing that I wanted to discuss today is a beautiful Hawaiian tradition called Ho'oponopono. And this is all about forgiveness and showing compassion for yourself and for others as well. However, I really want you to more focus on the compassion and love for self. So, sometimes these very traumatic things happen for us in life, and we replay the memories in our minds over and over and over again. And when we do that, we are kind of keeping ourselves stuck in this fight or flight mode, because our bodies don't recognize that there is no danger there. So when we continuously replay these things, or when these flashbacks happen for us, we keep ourselves kind of stuck in this energy. Ho'oponopono has helped me tremendously, because when you forgive someone else, it is not exactly, you don't have to say to them, I forgive you. You don't have to wait for them to apologize to you. You have an understanding that your heart is at peace now, and that your emotions are aligned with who you want to be. Ho'oponopono is a series of 4 phrases or prayers or whatever you would like to call it. And it is, I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, and I love you. And the importance of this is to have appreciation for the event as well. And I love that aspect of it. So, with saying I'm sorry, it's more of saying, it can be saying I'm sorry to another individual, because oftentimes when things happen for us, or if it is a conflict with a romantic partner or a friend or a family member, oftentimes there are 2 sides to everything, and you may not think it, but you may also hurt another person as well in this process, or in the process where the event or the traumatic event happened. Saying I'm sorry can also mean being sorry to yourself, though. I'm sorry to myself for holding on to this for so long and not allowing myself to grow in a way that is aligned for me, or not allowing myself to grow or to love myself, or questioning my own self-worth. So I'm sorry. I forgive you. How important it is. It is so important to say I forgive you, because you're saying I forgive you. And you are offering compassion, authentic compassion for the situation, whatever that situation may be. And you say, I forgive you. For example, I forgive myself for holding on to this and for not realizing how deeply it was impacting me in my emotional being and my love for myself. Thank you. Thank you shows appreciation, because every moment in our lives, whether or not you want to believe it, has happened for a reason. And by being thankful for it, we are showing appreciation for the event, because that event has helped create you and has helped you grow into the person that you were meant to be. Every opportunity, every experience in our life is an opportunity for us to learn from and to grow from, because this earth school is just that. It is an earth school. So I am thankful for these events that have happened in my life, no matter how horrendous and tragic they may have been in that moment. I am thankful that this happened, because these events in my life have led me to become the person that I am. And that's just an example. I love you. And this is showing love for self and love for another individual, love for the situation as well. Even if you did not want the situation itself to happen, it still happened. And by showing love and compassion for the situation and for any other person that may be involved, you're then saying, I accept it. It's almost like the final piece of acceptance of a certain chapter or a certain event that has occurred for you in your life. So, forgiveness. Oftentimes we view forgiveness as it being for another person. We view forgiveness as I'm withholding forgiveness because you don't deserve it. However, don't you deserve that forgiveness? Don't you deserve to transmute this more negative, dense thing that occurred in your life, or a relationship? I'm feeling relationship come through. I feel like a lot of people who will resonate with this will look at past relationships in their lives. So something I want you to practice with this Ho'oponopono is sit quietly in a room where you won't be bothered, and just sit with your emotions. Really think about the event that occurred for you in life, and think about how it transformed you, and think about the other person or another group of people, whatever that situation is, who is involved. And you can even do this if they've passed on, and if they have passed on, I highly encourage you to do it. And sit with that feeling for a little bit, and sit with the memories of that event or that relationship, and then quietly close your eyes, and then just envision this other person in front of you, and go through the process of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. And I love you. And just imagine the other person silently sitting there, listening to you and taking it all in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, because I feel like this is also very important, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who is alive anymore. Oftentimes I feel like people feel that when someone passes on, that we must hold on to that, and that we must hold on to any resentment or any dense emotion from any situation that has occurred with this person that's passed on. But that's not true. The forgiveness is for you. It is not for the other person. So, my shadow work prompts for you are: what moments in your life require forgiveness? And sometimes these moments in life are us forgiving ourselves for things that we said to other people or did to other people. And just know that you are no longer that person. If you have the awareness to say, I need to forgive myself for having done this to someone else, please know that just by having that self-awareness, you are no longer the person who did that action. Where do you feel this emotion trapped in your body is a continuation of that question, of that prompt. So what moments in your life require forgiveness? And where do you feel this emotion trapped in your body? Because when you are doing the Ho'oponopono, I want you to focus on that aspect, or on that aspect of your body. Oftentimes I will feel it in my heart center, or I will feel it in my guts, and that is when we've somaticized things, and that is where the emotions are kind of trapped. So oftentimes, if you have chronic gut issues, it may be because you have a lot of energy and emotions that are trapped within that you have to process and let go of. Oftentimes we may feel it in our head as well, and this is because when the energy is trapped in our heads, it can actually block our third eye, and it can create a lot of headaches as well. Another prompt: what has been stopping you from providing forgiveness? What has been stopping you? Oftentimes we go through trauma and we wear our trauma as a badge of honor, saying, I've been through so much, you have no idea. And yes, you have been. We all have been. And my last and final question, because I always like to add a question about a question about the outcome, a question about the solution, because oftentimes when we do shadow work, we think so much about the conflict and the trauma and the problems, but we do not provide enough solution. So my question here is, what does this version of the forgiven you look like? What does this version of you look like? The one that has forgiven, the one that has released that dense emotion, the one who has alchemized it. What does that version of you look like? Thank you so much, beautiful souls. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hello, beautiful souls. Now I'm going to do a tarot card reading about forgiveness, and maybe to see what aspects of ourselves are holding on to it, maybe what situations in our life we need to dig a little bit deeper into to kind of provide that forgiveness, and to just kind of see what energy may be trapped within us, and to see what the outcome will be. All right. Cool. All right. I pulled the Page of Cups in reverse, and this is about broken dreams. This is about emotional blocks and about detachment as well when it comes up in reverse. So perhaps the word attachment is coming through. You've attached an outcome, you've attached expectations to a certain person or situation in your life, and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted to, and there's a lot of feeling built up inside, a lot of feeling that is trapped because you're just kind of holding on to this anger and to resentment about a situation not turning out the way that is meant to be, or not turning out the way that you meant for it to and that you projected it to be. Whew. Then I pulled the Ten of Swords. That is very significant for this card reading because this is about mental breakdown, ruin, failure, bitterness, exhaustion. Perhaps you've been overextending yourself. This is also about deep wounds and betrayal. So going back to when I was talking about, I feel like a lot of people, when we are thinking about situations that require forgiveness, we are thinking about specific relationships that have occurred in our lives, specific relationships that have caused deep, deep woundings for us. And this may not just even be about this life wounding, but about, because so many people in our lives now are connected to our past lives as well. And perhaps this has been occurring for many lives as well. So I'm being guided to say, perhaps you've met somebody and there's an instant draw or an instant connection with them, and you felt as if it was fate to meet this person, and perhaps it was, but because you have grown so much in this lifetime and because you are growing into the person who your soul wants you to grow into, perhaps it is fate, but accept fate in a different way. Fate in a way where this time you will learn the lesson, allow yourself to let go of these emotions and feelings, and then allow yourself to let go of the other person as well. And then I pulled the Ten of Wands, and this card is, and I pulled that in reverse. So this card in reverse is about release, having too much responsibility. Maybe you've placed too much responsibility on yourself or on the other person. Again, it goes to those expectations that you have projected onto the other person and that attachment to the other person or situation or event in your life. Through this process of healing and forgiveness, we will attract beautiful relationships into our lives. The Two of Cups. We will attract these beautiful relationships into our life and a beautiful understanding of love and for self as well. And then I also pulled the Magician card, and these two came out right side up, and that is beautiful because it is a beautiful way to end this. And it's just, the Magician is all about manifesting, and it's all about stepping into our highest potential and to be the magician so that we can create whatever it is that we want to create in our lives. It's a beautiful card reading. Thank you, Spirit, for those cards. And I love you all, and I hope that you are able to forgive yourself and others for whatever may have occurred for you in your life. I love you.